Good morning, everyone, or whenever you are watching this. My name is BLT Smith. I am the owner of BLT Media, a company that is dedicated to helping high-achieving, high-capacity women and leaders lead from a place of overflow and not exhaustion. This month has been full in the best way, which is the reason why I think I was supposed to do these twice this month. And 1 week I was like, I'm not going to be able to get on there because things were happening to the point where I was just keeping a running list in my phone. Good old notes. And I say this as someone with a planner brand. Good old notes will still keep you somewhat regulated. But I am glad to be back on here, glad to be reviewing the month of June with you all and sharing some really exciting things that I have coming up for July. I'm going to turn on my light real quick. With my, yep, okay, there we go. I'm going to turn on my light while y'all get settled. Here we go. All right. Okay, cool. Where do we begin? June was a great month. It was really what I wanted it to be in the best way. It's the first full month my children were out of school, and I knew I wanted to be intentional about the time that I got here at the house with them and wanted to make sure that I was being intentional also about blending a good mix of doing activities, but also just relaxing. And I think we did that really well. This month, my oldest turned 9, and we got to celebrate him. He said it was one of his best birthdays ever. We also spent some solid time at the pool this month. I got a approval for a really big vendor opportunity that I was excited to tell y'all more about as we continue in the video. And I spent this month focusing on recording my podcast. Now, for those who do not know, I have a podcast called the Be Light Podcast. I have had it for several years, but I actually took a 2-year unplanned hiatus from the podcast because I gave birth to my daughter a couple of years ago and really wanted to lean fully into my postpartum period with her and getting those early snuggles in and not wanting to feel like there was something in the background that I felt pressure to be promoting constantly. And I did not know that the break would be 2 years. And honestly, even as time continued on, I wasn't sure if I'd be returning to podcasting, but something that I realized as I was in prayer about it, continuing to think about it, I said, there really is more that I want to say, especially now that my business mission is as refined as it is. And of course, we know as business owners, as entrepreneurs, and as children of God, as I am, you can have one thing and then you iterate and you are flexible and you move as needed. But I feel so excited about the direction that the business is heading in, especially because it's not anything that I anticipated. Now, for those of you who are new to my world, Be Light Media, beyond being a company that is dedicated to helping high achieving, high capacity women and leaders lead from a place of overflow and not exhaustion, has a few core services. So we have our Freedom and Flow Planner, which is what we're going to use to plan today. We also have our Rhythm Reset Experience, which is for organizations. We come in and we can lead your teams through our rest framework, identify what things within how they're working need restoration, where are their energy leaks, what are their energizers, what systems that they in structure and support do they need to succeed in the role that they have, and then how are they going to track that and how are you going to track that? And then we have our Rest Well dashboard. Now, we had the opportunity to partner with an organization out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex over the past couple of months, and their members got early access to our Rest Well platform, which allows people to get their rest score, which shows them which one of those rest pillars that they need the most assistance with. It also gives them an outline piece prescription. And one of the things I'm so excited about for this upcoming vendor opportunity is that we are actually going to be giving out physical piece prescriptions to people based on the rest archetype that they most identify with. And to see something that started out as a conversation, honestly, a conversation I had with a dear friend, last year in New York. And I remember looking over at her and saying, what if there were like these archetypes? Like, think about Myers-Briggs, or think about the Enneagrams, and think about what might it look like for people to be able to take an assessment. It gives them a score, but it also tells them this is how you relate to rest. And so we ended up with 6 different archetypes, including but not limited to the overachiever, the builder, the watcher, and the dreamer. And it's just been so fun to see people take the assessment, for them to feel so seen when they take it, and then to get feedback on how people are applying the peace practices. Because I know for me, one of my peace practices came back as me needing to spend more time in silence. And I did not realize that I had so much input. Of course, I'm a mom of 4, so things can get loud very easily, but I did not realize that I wasn't capitalizing on those moments where maybe I'm in the car by myself, or my husband has taken the kids out of the house, and I feel like my nervous system has so enjoyed getting to have these pockets of peace. And it's just been really great to practice that and be able to see how other people are applying the practices that they've been getting. So let's get into our planning portion now that we've kind of given a high level overview of what this past month was, because the bulk of it really was telling people about what we're doing within the Restwell platform. I went to a founders walk this month and was able to talk to some people out there, tell them about the rest assessment, getting the vendor experience, because it's really an immersive experience set, getting things ordered for that, and then just spending time with my family, which is a gift. I do not take that for granted. I found myself multiple times this month, even when I was going out to record my podcast, thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna miss the kids, or I gotta go and do this. I'm not gonna be with the kids. And then remembering, man, I get to leave my house for a few hours a week, and everything else is optional, honestly. Like, I am not even being forced to do this. This is just allowing me to go and be in a quiet place. Oh, which is another really big update. I got an office space out in Dallas, and I'm very excited about that. I've already been able to connect with some other members who are in that co-working space, and it's nice. And I feel like it's going to really help with the work life separation. And as someone who is building a business that is truly integrated into my life in a way that is not taxing or overwhelming, I think for me, the reason and the motivation to get a co-working membership was the sustainability piece, recognizing that one of the systems for my success is being able to be in a space and achieve some deep focus. And I'm so grateful for my husband and the way that he's able to take our kids off places sometimes when I need to be quiet. But I also am like, this is their space too. So that was a decision I made this past month. And so far, totally recommend it. And I haven't even been able to go, or not even been able to, but I haven't even had to go more than 3 times, I don't think, because I got my membership in the middle of the month. But it has just been so nice to go in there, sit down, put my headphones on, really dive in and then close my laptop and know that I'm done for the day, as opposed to trying to sneak in a few emails after people go to bed. So I rambled a lot. Let's get into our planning. If you have your Freedom and Flow planner, you should grab it now. If you do not and you want to grab one, I will put the link in the chat, and it's also in the show notes. You call it a show note if it's YouTube, child. I've been so used to this podcast recording that I'm still using a little bit of language from that. Told y'all I skipped a couple weeks, so make sure I land at the right spot. All right. My planner open to our BLT section. And I'm also going to do a little bit of goal setting. I did not set a goal for June. I really let it be what it was supposed to be. And I'm actually glad that I had that flexibility, because especially with the kids and wanting to lean in with my time with them, I think having this hovering goal would have been a distraction. And now that I'm looking back at the month, I realized the goal was present and I was absolutely able to achieve that. So we are planning 6/29 through July 5th. Level 5. Can you all believe we are moving into the 7th month of this year? I cannot. All right. I have shared this before, but typically before I sit down and do my planning sessions, I will review my calendar, and I will also just keep a running list of things that I want to make sure make it to my brain dump section, because that's the first section of this. We do our brain dump, then we list by priority, then we take time. So let's get into it. I have quite a few follow-ups to send this week about bringing the rhythm reset to some school districts, about bringing it out to a nonprofit organization here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I'm going to put those at the top of the list. You all, I will tell you, as an entrepreneur, one thing you have to get over is the feeling that you are bothering people when you send follow-ups, because I have experienced personally that people are more often grateful that you reach back out to them, because sometimes people are just busy. They're just busy. And if you have in your head, oh, they don't want to work with me, oh, I'm getting on their nerves, that's why they're not reaching out. One of my old business coaches used to say the funds are in the follow-up. And I completely and totally agree. Because it's not, we cannot, and I have to tell myself this, we cannot expect to reach out to someone once and for them to be like, oh my gosh, yes, this idea is amazing, sign me up. Do those things happen sometimes? Yes, sometimes they do. But more often than not, you're going to have to follow up, and it's okay. It's okay to be top of mind. It's okay to personalize it. You don't have to be robotic with your follow-up. Okay, it's a new month. Can you believe it? How's your month going? I think for me, especially as a mom, if I know the person I'm reaching out to is a mom, I'll say like, how you survive in summer, sis? Are you getting hazed? Are you flourishing? And that follow-up can even create a deeper connection. If you are following up on business proposals, or if you're following up on speaker opportunities, media pitches. I have done a lot of media pitches this year. Not as many as I would want to do. I will be completely and totally honest about that. And I will actually write that down as well. Something else I want to work on this week. But I am loving the muscle building because it's really providing an opportunity for me to even think through different ways that I tell my story and what angles make sense for different publications. All right. This is one of those weeks where the list isn't necessarily long, but it is full. What I mean is some of these are like project level tasks that rather than just a run of the mill to do. Okay, I'm going to sit down in one sitting and I'm going to be able to check this off my list. I also have some things that are things that I have to wait for other people to do, or things that are connected to someone else. So, for example, my audio engineer sent me the podcast, the raw, not the raw, the first drafts of the podcast recording for this season. So I need to go and listen to that and then give him my notes. And it's several episodes. We recorded 11, and then I have 5 interviews that I'm doing. So we'll end up at 16 episodes for the season. And with the timeline that I came up with, it should land us right around the first week of November without taking any breaks, which is perfect because that'll be people's holiday season. People can take off. They can go and binge episodes if they miss some. So I think it's going to be really good. All right. I think that is that. Then after I look at my list, I will pull up my calendar for other things I may have put in here. Any interview. We also have family coming in town this week, so I want to make sure I'm leaving margin in my calendar for them. That is, it's a pack. All right, I said the list wasn't long, but it's actually gotten longer now that I've looked at my calendar. All righty. Now, typically with follow-ups, I try not to send follow-ups on Mondays, but because tomorrow is the last day of the month, I'm actually going to send some things out today as a like, can you believe June is already over? So I'm actually going to put that now that we're moving to the list priority, my top 3 for the day. Going to put those things here. And it's also completely fine if you are sending follow-ups on things. And maybe this is also just follow-up on job applications, follow-up on a promotion at your job to schedule them. That's one of my favorite things about Gmails, that you can schedule emails. I think other email providers do that as well. That's what I use. So sometimes I'll write an email out and then just schedule it to send on whatever day I want to send it. Do that. Mm. Also, when I can, try to pair similar tasks. So I have an article that I need to write, and I'm going to do that on the same day that I do the media pitches. Order sign. I don't know what that means. Oh. um, Probably listen to the podcast too on Wednesday. That. Yep, that's it. Alright. Now, after I have put my priorities on the L part of the priority list, I will count to see that the amount of things I have on this page between the take time and the priority matches how many things I have on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, there are 2 things on here that are not on this page. Um, All right. Now, sometimes I will go back and see that something that didn't make it to the list actually isn't a priority. So I will leave it in the brain dump section so that I can come back to it, and then I will move on. Now we'll move to our weekly layout. You all see how quickly this goes? Move to our weekly layout. Put any meetings that I have on here. I said 7/5, it's actually 7/6 because I go from Monday to Monday. This is where the calendar view of my phone is going to be helpful again. Okay. There's certain areas in the planner that you might be putting the same thing, but for me, sometimes that repetition is really helpful and me remembering. So I might have something on the actual calendar view, and then at the bottom, I will put it as a meeting as well. So then I'm not even having to think about what time or what it is that's happening because I've repeated it several times and I should know. This way also lets me know when I am maybe a little bit too full, don't have any like travel time margin in between tasks, so things may get adjusted. All right, let's see. Still, it's still up in the air. Let me see. All right, so that is that. That's for the week. All done. I think that's it, probably 10 minutes. And now we're going to go over to the goal setting section. I do want to show you all this. I'm not going to do this live, but I do have end of month reflection questions. What ways did I feel free this month when I think about flow? What adjustments do I need to make? Where do I feel fulfilled? Where am I still searching for fulfillment? What systems do I need to put in place to support my dreams? How do I feel about the way I'm showing up for myself, my friends, my family? What one step I can take today to bridge the gap between what I desire and my reality, and what goals that I have at the beginning of the month that now feel misaligned with where I'm heading. I tell clients, I tell anyone who buys the planner, if you don't answer any other question, answer that last one, what goals you had at the beginning of the month that now feel misaligned, because sometimes we just set goals arbitrarily and then you realize I actually don't care about this thing. This is the energy audit. Something else I will let you all go through at your own pace. If you want to do an energy audit digitally, I actually have a link for that on my website, and I'll pull it up for you all real quick. And it will allow you to go through this process very quickly. Well, I say quickly. It might take you a little bit longer if you're really digging in, but you can take that here. Now it's going to say rhythm reset work because I do require that anyone who goes through the rhythm reset actually does an energy audit. But you can take it even without being in the rhythm reset experience. And then I have fun crossword puzzles. I actually stumped myself the last the last time. So snap, y'all. Are we at the wrong month? It says August. Did I skip the entire month of June? Where did we have to figure that one out? I mean July, not June. Might have skipped a month. I did. Oh man, that's funny. Okay. Oh, okay. Good to know. I'm gonna put that in my notes. I need to move my stuff back. All right. All right. Oh, I also have these nice quotes next to the month layout. So June's quote was, "Worthiness is not dictated by the amount of money in your bank account. It's baked into who God created you to be." Good reminders. All right. So we got that. Got your end of month review. And now we're going to go to the full section, which is our mind map. So my goal for the month is to really promote my Lightroom experience. I realize that that is kind of our fourth offer within the business. So Planner, Restwell platform, Rhythm Reset, and then the Lightroom is an activation. Honestly, it's like if you've ever gone to a conference like Essence or Create and Cultivate, where they or I think about one of my mentors' events, Hue Affair, and you have something that you can walk into and really experience the brand. That is what the Lightroom is for Be Light Media. It's not just, hey, come here, get a planner. It is, come find out what your archetype is, get your piece prescriptions. And this month, I've really been able to map out what that looks like at scale. So what does it look like to have something that's smaller, maybe for a smaller conference, can maybe fit 5 people in the room? What does it look like to have something for 10 to 15 people in the space? What does it look like to have like a whole retail experience basically for their Lightroom, and people can get their piece prescriptions, get their planners, get their notebooks, so notepads. So I'm really, really, really excited about testing that out next month and sharing with more people about it. It is just a incredible blessing to see the way that this business has taken shape. As I tell people all the time, even though clearly I'm a goal setting girl, this was not something I sat down and mapped out last year. God has just allowed me step by step to see, okay, now that you did that, that would work really well with this. Okay, now that you've done that, here we go. I just love it. Mm, mm, let's see. Right, so I'm just writing down and set up my focus for the month is Lightroom promotion. So week one's goal is to mock up what the showcase will actually be, what the activation is going to look like. I'll just set it up in my house, basically. Week two will be the beta test at my first event as Be Light Media. I have gone to things, I've done speaking engagements and my books, but I have not come to a place and set up as Be Light Media. And I'm really excited about doing that because that's what opened up the door for this whole lightning experience. And I'm so thankful for the organization that I'm vending through because they really helped me to think outside the box. They were like, we do not just want this to be a table with whatever you're selling on it. And that's what made me reflect on various conferences that I've been to where you have a brand like AT&T that is sharing, yes, phone products or phone services, but there's always something greater that's happening. So really exciting. And then so I'm going to say the mock-up is week 1, beta test week 2, week 3 is starting to promote it online for events. And then week 4, probably just keep following up with people about it. Because I do have some inquiries about the rhythm reset experience, I would love to offer this as a bundle situation where, depending on the size of the organization, in addition to doing the workshop facilitation with them, we can actually create a light room where employees can come for the day and just spend a few moments. I plan on having coloring sheets where people can decompress, plan on having music and just probably reflection questions. Need to put that down. Excerpts from the planner. So exciting, y'all. This thing is just taking off in a great way. So that is the goals. So all in all, to review the month, to plan for the week, and then set goals for July, we're in at under 40 minutes. If you're someone who doesn't like to plan because you feel like, oh, it's going to take too much time, it does not have to. And I would also tell you this. When I was on the Founders Walk this weekend, someone said online, we were reading about people being high maintenance so that they could be low maintenance. And I felt like that was such a great analogy because when you put in the work up front, sometimes it can feel like a hassle. But now I get to truly flow, just like the Freedom and Flow Planner is built on. That's the whole reason why it's called the Freedom and Flow Planner. I get to truly flow through my week because my mind has the freedom to think about other things because I'm not trying to plan in real time. So I hope that this was helpful for you if you are someone who is either new to planning or maybe looking for a new planning method. If you are interested in getting the Freedom and Flow Planner, you can go to briannalightfootsmith.com/flow. I also put a link in the chat for you all to take that free energy audit that can show you where your time and energy are being spent. And then, of course, if you want to get your rest score and your own personal piece of prescriptions, I'm putting the link for that in the chat. You can go to restwell.space. Come back here and let me know what your results are, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I look forward to continuing to chat with you and can't wait to share with you all how the event goes. All right, talk to you next time, friends. Bye.